世界のみんなとつながろう Bridges across world communities.
Hello everyone and welcome to Bridges Across World Communities, sponsored by NIA, the Nishinomiya City International Association. My name is Floyd.
And my name is Thelma. Each month we provide practical knowledge for daily living and important information about disaster prevention.
This program is for English-speaking residents in the Nishinomiya area and is broadcast on the second and fourth Saturday of each month from 12 noon to 12:15.
Today we have more COVID-19 information, including what to do if you're diagnosed positive.
And our guest this month is Mr. Robin Lloyd, an ethnic musician originally from the U.S. who now lives in Kobe.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会です。Hello, Floyd.
Hello, Thelma.
Here we are in March, and
Yep.
it's finally starting to feel more like spring. It puts you in a good, brighter mood, doesn't it?
Well, that's for sure. I mean, it feels like we've been through an extra long winter that was colder than usual, and I'm really happy to welcome the warmer weather.
So what's our topic for this month?
Well, we have more COVID-19 information to share, but first there's an important update to something we talked about last month.
So you mean the Nishinomiya's new garbage bag system going into effect on April 1st, right?
Yes, that's it. But there's been a change, and the start of the new system has been pushed back to July 1st. So the transition period has been extended by an additional 3 months.
I guess the delay will make some people happy and others disappointed, right?
Yeah, probably. But once it gets going, the new system will be good for Nishinomiya and better for the environment.
Yeah, perhaps we should give an updated summary of the new garbage bag system.
Good idea. You want to start?
Okay.
Okay.
So during the transition period, which lasts from now until the end of June, the city will collect garbage in both the solid colored bags and the new transparent bags.
However, beginning on July 1st, Nishinomiya City will no longer collect garbage in solid colored bags.
Well, from July 1st, burnable garbage must be in city-designated clear bags with the pink sakura pattern.
And garbage with the PLA symbol, that's the plastic stuff, must be in city-designated translucent blue bags, the ones with those yacht and lighthouse patterns.
Yeah, both designs are colorful and specific to Nishinomiya, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding them in stores.
Yeah, these new garbage bags can be purchased at your local supermarket, drugstore, home center, and even online.
Okay, shall we move on to this month's main topic related to COVID-19?
Yep, I think it's a good idea. So we have 3 important pieces of information to go over. First one is what to do if you think you have the virus. Next is what to do if you test positive for the virus. And then what to do if you've had close contact with someone who's tested positive for the virus.
Yes. First, if you think you might have the virus and have questions related to your health, please call the Nishinomiya City Helpline at 0798-262240. They're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on weekends and holidays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
This service is only available in Japanese, so if you don't have someone to help you with the call, please contact NIA for assistance.
Now, second, if you have tested positive for the virus, you must quarantine at home.
Now, people between the ages of 20 and 69 who are asymptomatic or have only slight symptoms will receive a text message on their mobile phone from the Nishinomiya City Health Center about quarantining at home. They will not make a voice call to your phone.
Now, the number of positive cases is still rising, so it may take 2 to 3 days before being contacted by the health center. This delay may be worrisome, but please continue to quarantine at home and don't panic.
The home recovery time for people without symptoms is 7 days, starting from the day after the positive test.
Yeah, and the home recovery time for people with symptoms is 10 days, starting from the day after the positive test, plus an additional 3 days after the symptoms pass.
Okay, and the third area here is if you've been in close contact with someone who has the virus, you will not receive a notification from the health center. Instead, you need to go over the guidelines and decide for yourself what applies to you.
Now, if someone in your family or at your work tests positive, you should make a note of the following information. 1, the date of their positive test. And 2nd, the date they developed symptoms. And 3rd, the date you last met them.
Yeah, now people are always asking who is considered to be a close contact anyway. And it gets a little complicated, but here are the basics. A close contact is a person who lives with someone who has tested positive or who has met with someone who has tested positive during their infectious period.
When is the infectious period for a person who has tested positive?
Well, for symptomatic people, it's the period starting 2 days prior to when symptoms first developed. And for asymptomatic people, it's the period starting 2 days prior to the date of the positive test.
Yeah, if I met someone who had tested positive, does that make me a close contact, Lloyd?
Well, probably not, unless the person who tested positive was not wearing a mask and you were within arm's reach of each other and the conversation lasted more than 15 minutes.
Well, if someone is confirmed to be a close contact, what should they do?
Well, even if they don't have any symptoms, they should quarantine at home for 7 days, starting from when they last met the person that tested positive. And if they do develop symptoms, they should consult with their doctor or contact the Nishinomiya COVID-19 helpline.
Now, Hyogo Prefecture has also set up a 24-hour helpline. The number is 078-362-9980.
For help in English, please call the toll-free helpline set up by the Japanese Ministry of Health. This service is available every day, including holidays, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The number is 0120-565-653.
Now, for more detailed and up-to-date information, please visit the multilingual page of Nishinomiya City website.
Yeah, we'd like to welcome this month's guest, Mr. Robin Lloyd.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, in the introduction, we introduced you as an ethnic musician, originally from the U.S. and now lives in Kobe. What in your case, what does that mean, an ethnic musician?
I think a more popular word is world music, and that pretty much means anything that's not Western music.
Okay.
So that would include music in Asia, traditional music, let's say, music in Africa, music in South America.
Okay, that kind of makes a little more. Because I caught you at a performance of the NIA International Exchange. This was back in February, I think it was. I forget when we
January.
Yes. Oh, January. And the focus seemed to be on African music. So I thought that was your focus in music, but it seems to be you do other types of music.
I do love African music. At that time, the other performer was a specialist in African music, so we put that program together. But in the spring, I'll be playing with someone who's doing Indian music, and then I'll switch and try the East Indian mode. And I also play shakuhachi, so sometimes I play with the koto and the shamisen players, and we do the Japanese thing. So
when
this is all called world music. So
when you're doing this sort of African-focused and Indian-focused, do you change what instruments you're using?
I do. I do, yes.
So now it also says here that you're originally from the U.S. Whereabouts in the U.S. are you from?
I grew up in Illinois, which is near the Great Lakes, near Lake Michigan. Quite cold.
Lake which one?
Lake Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Okay, that's a cold area. So and then you went to school there, college?
College there, and that's the last time I lived in the States when I graduated from college.
How long ago was that?
I left. That was more than 40 years ago when I left. So I've spent most of my adult life here or in other Asian countries and also in East Africa.
So it sounds like you don't consider Illinois as your home.
No, actually I don't. Of course, I have the memories are there, but home is. I lived longer in Kyoto than I lived actually in the States, in the U.S.
So what made you come to Japan?
Actually, it was part of just the trip, just the traveling. I was just a traveling, backpacker kind of thing, but I was always looking for world music. I was always interested in it. So I stopped in Japan to see what I could find out about, like, for example, the koto or the shakuhachi. And I moved on from then, but I did come back.
So were you, when you were in the States before you came to Japan, were you a music performer at that time as well?
I was I was studying a lot of music, not so much performing, but mostly studying.
So when did you start with music?
Yeah, and my question is like, what drives you to become an ethnic musician?
In my case, I was probably born with the seeds.
The seeds.
Because, the seeds were already there because I was told that even when I was a baby, I was making a lot of noise, beating on things, and I had a drum set when I was about 4 years old. Of course, I don't remember that, but I was given that, and in that case, the seed was there. And the question is interesting, but I think I would say that, it's rewarding. Any job is rewarding, but music is especially for me, is a rewarding thing.
Were your parents gave you a lot of encouragement as
Yes.
far as music?
Yes. It was a musical household.
It was.
But they suggested, and I wasn't interested either, not to go to music school, because if you go to a music school, it narrows you become a specialist, and it becomes very intense, and there's a lot of stress, and so it was a very open family. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like most of your music is even now more improvisational type of work.
I much prefer to throw the music score away and improvise on the spot. Yeah.
So you said it was a musical family. So were your parents performers, or did they play instruments?
When my father was young, he was actually a professional jazz musician. But when I was growing up, he wasn't doing music.
My first response was, I kind of asked if your parents were supportive of your playing music, and I thought they must be incredibly supportive if they're going to buy a 4-year-old a drum set.
True, that's true. That's true. But to say it became a job was that after I came to Japan, I wasn't looking to work here, or especially not to do music. But when I came, it was just luck. I can only say it was just luck. I happened to be doing the kind of music that people were interested in here.
And where were you doing it initially when you came to Japan?
When I came here, I would just pick up some of the things that I had, like for example, an African kalimba or a guitar, and I would pick it up and I would do something, and people would come around.
Where would you do it?
I would do it in my room, and then eventually that got crowded. People would come and listen. So I was able to do small coffee shops and things like that. So I wasn't planning any of that actually. And then I had to go back to the States once to pick up the instruments that I'd left behind to do here. So people
I guess
wanted to hear it, and then that became my work. Yeah.
So it became your work. So I guess it didn't change when it became your work. I mean, I think when something becomes your work, it all of a sudden isn't as much fun. Did you find that at all, or did you always keep enjoying it?
There's suggestions to make it more commercial, like for example, to be on television or to record something that could sell. But I always turned that stuff down.
Do you have like a favorite kind of venue to perform?
I prefer the places that are not so big, like 20, 30 people. But I have played in places where there's 1,000 or 2,000 people. But I'm not boasting. I'm just saying that I know what that is. But I prefer a smaller
Any
place.
favorite instrument that you can?
Yes, I really do enjoy the African kalimba very much, and I also enjoy the Japanese shakuhachi, and also percussion instruments in general.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to cut this short soon. We're already running out of time. But really quickly, is there something coming up? Somebody can go and see you somewhere, or any venue that you?
Actually, the most interesting thing was every month I have a open sort of workshop in my house, and I could just leave my home phone number.
Okay, let's. You know what? I hate this is a really bad time, but we're gonna have to stop.
Okay.
How about the first thing in our second half of the interview? We'll cover that.
Let's do that.
Okay. Thank you for joining us this month.
Okay,
We'll
thank
be
you so
back
much,
Thank
Robert.
you. Thank you.
The third dose of the COVID-19 vaccination is becoming available for all Nishinomiya residents 18 years of age or older.
Letters from the city with an enclosed coupon for the booster shot are being mailed to residents about 6 months after receiving last year's second vaccination dose.
For an updated information, refer to the English language pages of the Nishinomiya City website under multilingual.
For consultation services and inquiries, please contact NIA at 0798 328680 or write an email to nia@nishi.or.jp.
Please continue to be careful and stay safe.
提供は西宮市国際交流協会でした。Now, if for any of those people interested in the group music lessons with Robin Lloyd, you can call him at 078-855-7167. Have a great weekend.